Here's our Flagler weather update, and we're going to be focusing on this weekend and into early next week. So you can see the Saharan dust out over the Atlantic Ocean, and the prevailing winds pushing out of thunderstorms inland, keeping us dry here in Flagler County. We can expect this to continue next several days. Let's take a look at the tropics right now. We did have a little disturbance that passed over us. It's now over here in the Western Gulf, but it's only a 10% chance of this thing getting organized, and it's going to be moving into Texas and places like that. That is not a problem for us. Elsewhere in the tropics for the next 7 days, we don't see any issues or concerns going on. Taking a little bit closer look at the 2 day outlook. Again, nothing going on out there of any concern for us. Now, taking a look at the longer range, and this takes us into the end of July and into early August. So the one thing to note here is the Climate Prediction Center is showing a very minimal chance. This striping here means generally less than 20% chance of some sort of development that might go on either anywhere from North Carolina off the east coast of Florida and into the Gulf. So somewhere in this area we'll need to watch as we go into in the end of July and into early August to see if indeed anything does try to spin up there. And of course this will be updated as we progress through the next several days and the weeks ahead. But just something to keep in mind as we go through that we might see some additional tropical development trying to get organized. So let's talk about what's going on with our weather here locally. So taking a look at our forecast and taking a look at the weather map. High pressure building in. High pressure is going to maintain control through the weekend, and it sticks right over us into Saturday, minimizing our rain chances, and then sticks with us into Sunday as well. But as we get into next week, it looks like this high pressure system is going to move off, and then that'll allow rain chances to increase once again. So let's talk about our forecast now for Flagler County. Now, for tonight and generally the next several nights, we expect low temperatures largely in the 70s, near 80 at the beaches, so 78, 77 degrees along the immediate coast. Palm Coast about 75 degrees and about 75 inland. And you can expect these low temperatures to be pretty much the same as we go through the rest of the next 7 days. So expect not much change with those overnight lows, generally staying in the 70s. Now for tomorrow, it's going to be quite warm with high temperatures peaking near 95 degrees in Bunnell, 92 in Palm Coast, 87 in Flagler Beach with the sea breeze keeping things cool, but 97 out on the west side of the county. Don't be surprised if we get a 98, 99, even a 100-degree reading out here, especially on the west side of the county. Tomorrow night, low temperatures generally holding in the mid-70s to most upper 70s beaches. And now as we get into Sunday, kind of the same thing, even a little bit hotter, closing in on 98 out here in Espanola, Andalusia rather. And as we go into Monday, forecast high temperature of 100 degrees in Andalusia. So hot weather definitely in for the weekend and early next week. High near 95 in Palm Coast, near 90 at the beaches, and US 1 FEC corridor looking at 97, 98 degrees. And as we get into Tuesday, still rather hot there, and we get into Wednesday, still in the mid 90s, a little bit of relief there. And then as we get into Thursday, still mid 90s. So look for a hot period of weather coming up down the line. Let's talk about heat index. So the heat index is what matters. That's what the actual air temperature feels like. And today we had heat indexes over 110 degrees largely for many locations, exception of the beaches. But as we get into Saturday, our heat indexes along the US 1 corridor here. Sorry about that. Too many radios in this room. US 1 corridor, we're going to be flirting with 110, 112 degrees. Palm Coast 109, beaches 100, 105 degrees, 114 in the west side of the county. Sunday is going to be even hotter with temperatures above 110. There are heat advisories out for Saturday and probably will be for Sunday too with these type of readings. As we get into Monday, look at this. We are getting into 117 degrees for heat index numbers on the western side of the county. Very likely that we will see some sort of heat advisories or heat warnings come Monday with these type of numbers. Temperatures, heat index temperatures actually over 102 and 106 in Flagler Beach at the coast. The coast is not even going to escape this. It is going to be properly hot when we get to Monday. Now we get to, still in Monday here. Let's get to Tuesday, and we're still up pretty high on Tuesday. And as we get into Wednesday, still up pretty high, getting up into 112, but starting to get a little bit of relief there. And then as we get into Thursday, down to about 110 degrees for your maximum heat index numbers. Now let's talk about rain chances and precipitation. And wrong. There we go. So for tonight, generally nil chances countywide. For tomorrow, generally a 10 to 15% chance. Your best chances out here on the west side of the county. If any showers and storms develop at all, the best chances of them will be on the west side of the county. And as we get into Sunday, kind of the same deal, largely dry. And as we get into Monday, again, very hot, largely dry. And then as we get into Tuesday, we're going to start to see rain chances begin to recover. Maybe about a 50% chance of showers and storms. The best chances inland, lesser chances along the coast. And as we get into Wednesday, we see those numbers continue to come up, which is good news. We're going to need it with all that heat. Rain chances up to about 70% on the west side of the county and about 50% on the east side of the county. And as we get into Thursday, which is getting to the end of our forecast period here, high rain chances county-wide. 60 to 70% county-wide was higher numbers on the west side. Now, how much rain are we going to get the next 7 days? Really, overall, not too much. So we're looking at maybe a half inch of rain. It could be some localized heavier amounts, but largely about a half inch, a quarter to a half inch of rain. So we're not expecting a lot of rain, but those rain chances will be increasing as we go towards the middle to the end of the week. Now let's talk about what's going to be happening as we go further into the future. So looking at the 6 to 10 day forecast, this takes us, and let's zoom in. This takes us right into the beginning part of August from the end of July. And we're looking at a good chance, about a 60% chance of being above normal on our temperatures. And maybe just a little bit above normal chance for above normal precipitation. So let's go further on and take us deeper into August. How are we looking here? So again, we will zoom in. Whoops, mouse is going a little crazy. But we're looking at maybe about a 45% chance above normal temperatures as we go into the first week of August. Precipitation, we're looking at maybe about a 44% chance of above normal precipitation, getting more rainfall than we typically would see. Now let's go into the month of August itself. This is for the forecast for the entire month of August. So we're expecting a 42% chance of above normal temperatures for the month, and a 42% chance of above normal precipitation. So hot and wet looks to be the sign. That doesn't mean it's going to rain every day, but it means that we are expecting to see above average temperatures and above average rainfalls. Now, taking a look at the beaches, moderate rip current risk out there, so make sure you're aware of that. The key thing I want to note is the UV index is extreme, so if you're going to the beaches or outside anywhere, make sure that you are wearing sunscreen or sun protection. You will cook very quickly with the UV index extreme. Water temperature 80 to 85 degrees. We're probably hovering right around 82 at our local beaches here, but you can expect anywhere from 80 to 85, so the ocean temperature is rather warm. Now, just a couple other notes as well, and let's bounce back here and let's go to... Let me bounce back up here to our front page. I just want to show everyone a few more things. So some weather hazards to be concerned with. Again, heat temperature, the dangerous heat can be expected. We're expecting maximum temperatures in the 90s as we go through Tuesday. That's not that big of a deal. But what's a bigger deal is the heat index numbers. So again, Saturday 107. On Monday, 112. Some places in Flagler County hotter than that when we get into Monday. So just remember, it's easy to do. Make sure your back seat is clear. Make sure that no animals, no little kids are left behind. And again, looking at the tropics, no concerns out there at all. So this is going to wrap things up. We appreciate everyone taking time to tune in. If you missed anything, you can rewind. And again, the main headline here is going to be the heat And just to revisit that, let's get and take a look at revisiting that. Our heat index numbers are going to be quite high the next several days. And getting into Monday, Monday looks to be the hottest day with heat index numbers potentially approaching 120 degrees in some inland locations. We will be back with updates, probably another update at the end of the weekend and then update midweek, depending how the weather shakes out. Everybody out there have a great evening, and thank you for watching.